Julia, such a pleasure to meet you. So tell me, where did you get the inspiration for this incredibly unusual but amazing film?
It's not as much an inspiration as more like a process of connecting the dots between diverse ideas, images of scenes that I thought, okay, I'd like to film that. That's interesting to me, and the fact that I knew from the get-go that I wanted to put love at the center of my film. So it's really connecting the dots between all that.
And how did you end up with Agathe as your main actress, her first role? Was that a risk, and how did you know that she should be the person to play it?
It was kind of a risk because from the start I wanted to do a casting of non-professionals because I did not want anyone to project prior films or prior characters on this one. And so that they could fully accept the transformation of my character without a doubt, So this is already a risk because you're going to be working with someone who has never acted before. The second thing that I was looking for, a profile that was very androgynous. So we started looking through androgynous models' profiles, male and female, with my casting director. And in the end, I think the thing that in casting that made me go with Agathe is that she really has these very, very strong features that are kind of shape-shifting. You can really film her from all the angles and in any light, and she becomes someone else. And as a director, this is utterly interesting, and it made me want to film her.
Can you tell us a bit about the look and feel of the film? It's got a very distinctive aesthetic. How did you want it to look and feel?
Okay, I'm just going to give you that because the rest would be way too long. With Ruben, my DP, who was also the DP on Raw, we knew from the get-go that we would be working on very high contrast. Very high contrast can be a risk because if it's too high, if you push the envelope too far, then it looks cartoonish and it creates a distance that is absolutely irreversible with the characters. So we tested ourselves a lot about that. We had a lot of reference as far as paintings are concerned, which really influenced us very much. Caravaggio, Magritte, Winslow Homer as well. And then when we were in grading, we tried each other, trying to push and trying to find the right balance for it to be very, very dark. But also the reason why we wanted so much contrast was because we wanted there to be a lot of light emerging from the darkness. So that was a lot of balance here.
And what do you hope people take away from the film? There's lots of themes in there, but is it ultimately about love?
I think ultimately it's about yes, I think it's about unconditional love for sure, and the way that I think in its acceptance of everything that we are and that the other is, and in the absolute way that is actually transcending representations and social construct, you can actually lead the path to a new humanity that is stronger and that might look monstrous, but that's why it's stronger actually, and especially if it's born in love. So.
And you're the second woman to win the Palme d'Or. You've got a fascinating female lead. Do you think this is a sign of the times? And what do you think that women can bring to cinema that we haven't seen as much in the past, when it's been dominated, let's say, by men?
I do have this feeling that women have always been active in cinema, but no one wanted to see what they were doing. So now that it's like step by step, we're trying to have focus on female filmmakers. I think what they can, it's the female take on this art and the stories they can bring are things that we barely have seen before. So basically what it can do is just broaden the spectrum of how we feel our humanity. It just broadens it. It's like you have way more options, you can relate to so much more. And I think that's the strength of it.
How did it feel when you won that award, and what does it feel like to be having your film here in London, people able to watch it in person after the horrible year we've had with the pandemic?
Obviously, going back to festivals now is, how can I say that? It's really, it's a sign of hope more than anything for me. Obviously, it's makes me feel alive also very much, and it's a sign of hope on me, on the broadest sense of the term, and also for theaters as well, for the industry. So seeing that people are very much willing to go back to theaters and to do this experience again after 2 years of staying home with your computer. Yeah, it's very comforting.
Can you quickly tell us what you might work on next?
No. What I'm trying to do is to play with the tools of various typologies of film, body horror being the most obvious, but also very much comedy, very much drama, and thriller to a certain extent. And I try to subvert the codes of these typologies to make them my own, basically, and to make them dialogue in my film. So that basically at the end of the film, you've been through a real experience of your own humanity to all these emotions, you know?
People
I
have
like
that
that.
reaction.
I love that reaction, to be honest. I mean, someone told me quite the exact same thing not a long time ago, saying I cried a lot at the end, but I'm not sure why. For me, that's the best. It's exactly what I wanted to convey. So I wanted to convey a sense of our humanity, and in the way that it scares us, but also in the way that it moves us very much, in the way that it links all of us together. And I think that definitely at the end, people cry not only for the character's journey, but mostly because of the portrayal of our humanity and how somehow it made you feel vulnerable, but strong at the same time.